What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, the tank is on for Cooper Flagg after one of the most embarrassing performances in franchise history for the Chicago Bulls yesterday, where they were down 71-29 in the first half, were 1 for 23 from the three-point arc. It was truly one of the most embarrassing days as a Bulls fan yesterday, but I'll tell you guys why. It may not be as bad as you guys think, but hey, I think the next biggest day for this Bulls organization will be the draft lottery. And hopefully the Bulls can get lucky and land a guy like Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper in this year's draft. So if you guys want the Bulls to win the draft lottery, go down there, hit that thumbs up icon. It's going to be a massive day for this franchise, and hopefully they can get lucky and change and draft a franchise-changing player. So if you guys want the Bulls to win it, go down there and hit that thumbs up icon. Now you may be saying, Patrick, what's the great news on today's show? We just lost by 40 to our division rival, the Detroit Pistons, last night. How was that great? Well, the great news is the Chicago Bulls legitimately might be the worst team in the entire NBA. Watching them yesterday, it was completely embarrassing. They can't guard anybody, which we knew, but also their offensive mindset heading into that game, and this has been their mindset all year, where, hey, we're just going to put up threes. We're going to chuck threes, up and down the court, and they were 1 for 23 in the first half. And also a quick message to all the Bulls fans early on in the season who were getting at me because I was starting to root for losses because I saw that this team had no potential in the playoffs. I mean, how do you feel now? Like, now we have to pretty much just bank on the Bulls winning the lottery to have any hope for the next 5 seasons. But let's just say the Bulls get unlucky in the draft lottery and they get the 11th pick. I mean, it is just a complete disaster. But I do want to look here at the Bulls' next 10 games because, honestly, I can't find a win on the schedule. Like, you're going to play the Pistons again tonight. You just lost by 40. You're probably going to lose by 40 again. But then you're in New York against the Knicks. That's going to be a loss. Then you got the Suns. That's a loss. In Philadelphia, February 24th. I'm going to call that a must-lose game for the Chicago Bulls. Then against the Clippers, you're losing that. Raptors at home, maybe you win that one, but probably a loss. In Indy, loss. Against the Cavs, loss. And then in Orlando and in Miami, the Bulls have a chance here to potentially lose 14 straight games in a row. But what's also probably some bad news for the Bulls, if the playoffs started today, they would be in the play-in tournament. At 10 games under 500, the Chicago Bulls would be squaring off against Orlando Magic in the play-in tournament. So, Bulls fans, if you're looking at the Eastern Conference, we are big 76ers fans the rest of the season. We're also big Brooklyn Nets fans. Hopefully these guys can catch the Bulls and they can drop to 11, 12, or 13. Maybe the Toronto Raptors could make some noise after the Brandon Ingram trade and they could, potentially move up in the standings. But it's just so funny. And, I remember a lot of people getting upset about the Zach LaVine trade. Why would we only give up Zach LaVine just to get our protections off our next couple of first-round picks? Well, this is the reason, because the Eastern Conference is so bad this season that it's almost hard to tank, and it would be a doomsday scenario if the Bulls had the 11th pick in the draft, and that's heading to San Antonio, so I still think the LaVine trade was a good deal. But let's just dive into the game, and really the only bright spot from this matchup was Modest Buzelis. 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, efficient from the field, knocked down his 2 threes. He's been actually shooting the ball a whole lot better than I thought he was, but just still, you see the potential with him. He passes the eye test. He has an NBA skill set, but we have to be patient with him because I think it's going to take a little longer than we think for him to fully develop his game, as he is still extremely, extremely raw. But defensively, he is already one of the better wing defenders in the NBA. It's just unfortunate he has nobody around him that can do anything. And, we can get into the main reason why the Bulls are a joke of a team. And it's this guy right here, Nikola Vucevic. I honestly think the Bulls should just release him. I think they should cut him, buy him out. I know he has, $20 million on the books next season, but he just has a loser stench around him. He is the biggest loser in the NBA. He is the worst defender at the center position in the NBA, and he cannot shoot anymore. Because remember, the first 3 months, everybody was ripping me in the comment section. You see what Vooch is doing from beyond the arc this year? He looks pretty good. He's averaging 20 and 10. This is the Nikola Vucevic we know. He is regressing back to the mean of his NBA career, and he is one of the least impactful 18-point-a-game scorers, 10 rebounds guys I have ever seen in the NBA. Like, you're going to go look back at Vooch's tenure in Chicago, and you're going to be like, oh, he averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, probably had a pretty good career. He is still a net negative out there on the basketball court. I hate watching him. I can't stand him being on this team. He has terrible body language. He is a terrible leader and really one of the least impactful players in terms of impacting winning in the whole NBA. And this dude, I mean, the raw numbers look great for him still on the season. 18 points, 10 rebounds. I could care less. Yesterday, he was a absolute joke out there on the basketball court. And also my guy, Kobe White. I'm a big Kobe White fan. But if the Bulls had a deal out there at the trade deadline where they could have possibly gotten a first-round pick for Kobe White and they said no to it, I think that's a joke, because I still get back to Arturis in his press conference post-deadline. He was saying this team could be a playoff team, not a play-in tournament team. He was making the argument that they have enough talent on this roster to be a playoff team as a big reason why they didn't completely sell at the deadline. It is a joke. But also Josh Giddey, he was fine yesterday. I'm not really blaming Giddey, for what happened out there. But I will say Giddey couldn't guard me off the dribble. He has slow feet. He can't move his feet whatsoever to keep guys in front. And honestly, could he be a starting point guard of a winning team here in the future? I have extreme question marks on that. Again, looking back at that Caruso-Giddey trade, that was the best you could get. Another bad decision by this Bulls front office. And then Io, if I had to say two untouchables for the Bulls, it would be Io and Modest Buzelis. You can honestly cut everybody else on the team. Io still plays the game the right way. He gives it his all defensively. He's great in transition still. And honestly, I wish he was a bigger focal point of this offense heading into the second half of the year, because I think that's a great way to have a guy like him develop, is just get him more shots, run more pick and rolls for him. But again, the Bulls coaching staff, this whole team is just incompetent, and that won't be the case. So I'll ask you guys this. I think this is by far a yes. The Bulls, I mean, you play in Chicago, a great basketball city, and you're irrelevant. Like, you go turn on ESPN, Fox Sports, you will not hear a single lick of Bulls coverage for the rest of the season. So I'll ask you guys, are the Bulls the biggest joke in all of sports? Not just the NBA, all of sports. Give me a Y for yes, or give me an N for no down below in the comments section. Now, I do want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? Well, PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. And if you guys are going to be watching a Bulls game this season, they're pretty unwatchable right now. But if you guys want to make it watchable, creating a PrizePicks lineup is the best way to do so, or any basketball game, college basketball, whatever it may be. PrizePicks has you covered. So download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. Got that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. Honestly, before I was filming this video, I thought it would be a lot more fired up than I am, but honestly, I think apathy is setting in for me, where I don't even want to give my energy to this team and go on a 20-minute rant on how bad these guys are. But one thing I thought was absolutely hilarious yesterday, Billy Donovan, I understand it was a blowout. He had 14 players play 10-plus minutes. Like, in a situation like last night, why the hell are we playing Zach Collins? Just play Modest Buzelis. Like, why are THT? Why is he getting minutes? Modest Buzelis should play 35 minutes a night every single game for the rest of the season, no matter what the score is. But Zach Collins, not really much to say there. 5 points, 5 rebounds. He is not a winning player by any means. And even my guy Jalen Smith, I like Jalen Smith. Is he impacting the Bulls in any sort of fashion this season? No. I think he's a good player, good rotational guy to have off the bench. But, again, if on a championship team, you would hope he would be like your 9th or your 10th guy. But, again, he's not working with much around him. Another guy that I'll be down for the Bulls to cut and just completely cut bait, Patrick Williams. The Bulls signed this guy to a 5-year, $90 million extension this offseason. When it happened, $18 million a year, I said, you're really banking on Patrick Williams developing, and if he does, that could look like one of the better contracts in the league. However, he has regressed, and it's one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now. Think about that. Patrick Williams will be on the books for $18 million. Zach Collins will be on the books for $17 million. Kevin Huerter has a $17 million player option. All three of those guys will be making $17+ million next season for the Chicago Bulls. This front office is truly, and I hate saying this because it's such a fan take, But I think me or any single one of you guys watching right now could have done a better job over the last 2 seasons than what AK has done to this organization. But another guy, waste of a draft pick, number 18, Dalen Terry. He plays his ass off. He plays hard. He just doesn't have the skill set to be an NBA player. He's not the athlete to be an NBA player as well. And again, I just think the Bulls need to end this experiment of Dalen Terry, Patrick Williams. Like, those guys can't be wings on your team moving forward. But Julian Phillips, kind of same boat as Dalen Terry. I just got a little more optimism for him, mainly just because he's a better athlete. Plays his tail off as well. Had 7 points last night. You know, he can fly to the rim. He can put some pressure on the rim, get the defense in rotation. But he's not really that good of a defender. He's thin. I just don't really know what he could develop into. But he is a freak athlete, so maybe the Bulls just kind of see what can happen with him. And I'll tell you what, if the Bulls want to tank this season, you should play Javon Carter 40 minutes. Very similar to Vooch. I think he's one of the worst basketball players in the NBA right now. When he steps in the game, he is just chucking shots. Like, if the Bulls were serious about tanking, I would just run a Javon Carter and Nikola Vucevic pick and roll 50 times a game and just have that be your offense. You would score 70 points a night. You would get cooked defensively. And this guy, he went to press Virginia. I thought he was supposed to be an elite defender. This guy couldn't guard me or producer Dylan off the dribble. I mean, he is truly embarrassing to that he is wearing the Bulls uniform. But a guy I actually do like, Trey Jones, got limited action last night. I wouldn't hate him being a guard off the bench here in the future, but I feel bad for him. Like, he was just with the San Antonio Spurs, and then you're coming here and playing with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, just disappointing stuff for Trey. And then Kevin Huerter. Yeah, I mean, he is just, again, he's terrible. Like, he can't guard anybody, and he also can't shoot anymore. He's shooting under 30% from three this season, and the Bulls are going to give this guy 14, 15 minutes a night. So, listen, maybe the full-fledged tank is here, but it is just very disappointing what this Bulls team put out there on display last night. But Bulls Nation, let me know. If you guys made it to the end of today's show, just get the fire AKs going in the comment section. And honestly, if you guys are a Bulls fan in the Chicagoland area and maybe you guys have season tickets or you go to a lot of games, I know they're fun. Please stop going, because the United Center, if you look at the top 10 attendance games this season, the Bulls have 8 of them at home. The fans are awesome, but please stop going to these games, because there will be no change as long as Jerry is still getting money in his back pocket. Please stop going. Stop supporting this team. It is a joke of an organization, and we need to send a message to this front office, because fans still show up. He's still putting money in his back pocket, and as long as that's happening, nothing will change. But very disappointing day to be a Chicago Bulls fan. That's all we have to look forward to is the draft lottery. But we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.